Hey guys, it's Double Wide 6, and for those of you that have been following along, you may know that I've been building a bar. This is actually the backdrop to my bar. It's just a sink and a granite countertop and some cabinets, and I hung a flat screen TV there. And today's project, what I'm doing is I'm putting down a tile backsplash. Starting out with some 2-inch painter's tape. I put that right up against the edge, and I've mixed up some mortar. It's actually thin set, and thin set works really well for bonding tile, whether it's on the floor or on a wall. In fact, prior to having granite here, I had a tile backsplash behind my old countertop, and to remove it and replace it, I had to actually cut out the drywall in order to remove the tile. That's how well it stuck, and I used thin set for that. So for today's project, I'm putting in 2x4 subway tile. It's just white, and one of the things that makes this job go very quickly is that these tiles come in 1-foot sheets, and that makes it really easy. You can move along pretty quick. The only thing that really slowed me down with this job was the fact that there were 2 outlets I had to work around, and you could see them going around the outlet here. I didn't have much of a problem cutting it out. I just used a diamond grinder and a diamond wheel, and it cut right through. If you take a look, you can see I'm having some problems with my thin set. I mixed it up a bit too thin, and the tiles are actually falling down. There's a little bit of a gap behind the sink here, and the tiles are sliding down. So to prevent them from sliding down, I put a piece of angle iron, pretty thin angle iron, underneath the tile, and that's supporting it by catching the counter there. And I'm also keeping the tile raised up about 1/8 of an inch off the granite, and the reason for that is if there's any settling, I don't want the tile to crack or push against the granite. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually using tile spacers. I'm laying them down flat to give me 1/8 of an inch, and that's what's supporting the tile. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to use clear silicone to actually give the tile a little bit of flexibility in case there's some settling. The job went pretty well. I had a little bit of trouble keeping things exactly straight, but once I put the angle iron and a little bit of sheet metal underneath the tile, that prevented the tile from slipping around. Another thing I found is it was important to use spacers, because on the wall the tile wanted to slide a little bit. I should have mixed up the mortar a little thicker to begin with, but I did end up adding a little bit of dry powder to it just to make it a little bit drier, and that helped really hold the tile nice and flat to the wall. You can see here I'm working around another outlet. Just take your time, measure carefully, and make your cuts. And as I said, I just used a diamond wheel on a 4-inch grinder. I have a wet saw, but I didn't want to go through the effort of pulling that out for 2 outlets. In fact, the outlet on the left-hand side, that's actually for a TV, and I no longer have cable at my house. I use a Fire Stick. So the TV up there just runs off the internet. We get live TV and like Hulu and Netflix and all that. That's pretty much what the kids watch, and so I don't need a coax cable. So that outlet box on the left, I actually covered up, but Right now, what I'm doing is, I'm just cleaning up the tile, making sure that I don't have any extra mortar on it. You want to try and get that off, before it dries and sets up. So I'm applying this top row, and I got really lucky. The cabinets I set, I think they're 20 inch above the countertop, and it just so happened that if I took a utility knife and cut 2 rows of tile off the sheets, they would fit up under there perfect. All the tile jobs I've ever done, I feel like it never works out just perfect, but this one did, and I really am happy about that because it saved me some time. This back wall, it's real close to 10 foot long, and I was able to do the whole job in you're looking at about a 2.5 hour video. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting ready for the second row, and because I had to cut the drywall out, there's real slight imperfections. So I just decided that I would tile up to under the TV. So under the cabinet, I'm about 2 rows short on tile, and then above the cabinet and under the TV, you'll see I add an extra 2 rows. So to cap off the tile right here, I'm using, they make these aluminum screwed channels that you can use instead of using bullnose tiles, and it gives it a nice finished look, and it has, the one I got is at least like a brushed nickel look, and it's kind of modern, and it was really easy to do. All you do is put the thin set on the wall, and then you set the aluminum right in the thin set. You push the tile up against it, and that's pretty much it. That's your finished edge. And you can see how I have 2 rows of the tile going up a little higher than the cabinet, and that goes underneath the TV, and this gives it kind of a nice finished look, and it also hides any imperfections in the drywall. I think when I'm done, I'm gonna actually grout the tile white. I'm kind of on the fence if I want to do gray or white, and I was looking at some different pictures on the internet, and I kind of like the white look. That way it doesn't really take away from the granite or anything. It's just a very plain looking tile, but it looks nice and modern and clean. This whole job went pretty well. The biggest problem that I actually had was just the tiles started to slide a little bit, and that was because the thin set, when I mixed it up, it was a little bit watery, and what I ended up doing was just adding a little dry powder to help it kind of dry out, and that really helps kind of hold the tiles. Also, with a drier mortar, the mortar doesn't really push through the joints, and if you have the mortar pushing through the joints, then you'll have an issue grouting the tile. So I'm down to the last pieces. I'm just measuring a little bit so that I can cut it, and I took it outside, I cut it, and I'm just fitting them in place. And I believe I cut one right, and I cut the other one like a mirror image of what it was supposed to be. So I went out and cut another one. So there we go, I got it in now. And I'm just putting in some spacers to make sure it's all done. I still have to do the side walls, and I have to grout it, but the project went pretty well, and I just want to keep you guys in the loop with what's going on with the bar build. And hopefully you like these videos, and I'll try and keep them coming as long as I keep working on the bar project. It's a little different than the small engine stuff, but hey, it's what I'm doing, and I'm usually always trying to fix and repair stuff. So if you're not a subscriber to Double Wide 6, think about subscribing and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, guys.
and do it.